The confirmed number of coronavirus cases in Los Angeles County comes to 256,148. The confirmed number of deaths reaches 6,303. Here in Torrance, the total number of confirmed cases is 1,365, with total confirmed deaths at 68. We anticipate the Torrance numbers to change as the county updates its 24-hour reporting period. Welcome to COVID-19 Today. I'm Rhiannon Chertanich. It's 4 p.m. on Wednesday, September 16th. California Governor Gavin Newsom makes homelessness a top priority during his briefing today. He says the state is making historic investments in housing for the homeless. The governor refers to this effort as Project Home Key and says he's been working with other lawmakers and set aside $600 million in the budget to purchase motels and other housing for the homeless, which needs to be spent by the end of this calendar year.
And as a consequence, we are now sending out today our first awards, drawing down from that $600 million, some $76.5 million to procure some 579 units, 10 different projects across 7 jurisdictions in this state.
Governor Newsom says this is the first time in the state's history where they're able to present such a portfolio of support for Californians. More counties in our state are moving to reopen as COVID-19 numbers continue to fall. Statewide, we've seen a positivity rate at 3.6% over the past 2 weeks and an average case rate of 7.7 per 100,000 people. Yesterday, Inyo, Marin, and Tehama counties were allowed to move from the purple tier to the red tier, which means they could reopen many indoor businesses with limited capacities. Schools can also reopen at these locations in 2 weeks. The state's Health and Human Services Secretary, Dr. Mark Galley, says he's aware that there's another set of counties that are in the purple tier today, but have met the criteria for the red tier for 1 week. He says, quote, if those trends hold, some additional counties can move from purple to red next week, end quote. However, here in LA County, Public Health Director Dr. Barbara Ferrer says they won't authorize any more business reopenings until at least the end of September. She says officials want to see if the recent Labor Day weekend will cause a spike in COVID-19 cases as they saw after the 4th of July and Memorial Day. While businesses continue to be in a holding pattern, schools in LA County are able to move ahead with plans to offer some in-person classes. Dr. Ferrer says as of Monday, 59 schools submitted plans to offer such instruction. About half of them could open as early as the following Monday. Scientists in Northern Europe say they can see the smoke from the wildfires burning throughout California and the West Coast. Researchers from the Copernicus Atmosphere Monitoring Service, or CAMS, use satellite observations to track wildfire activity around the world. They saw smoke traveling across the Atlantic Ocean and reaching Northern Europe at the end of last week and expect the same thing to happen again in the coming days. Mark Parrington, a senior scientist with the organization, says, quote, the scale and magnitude of these fires are at a level much higher than in any of the 18 years that our monitoring data covers since 2003, end quote. CAL FIRE's Battalion Chief Justin Silvera has been helping to battle the wildfires in Northern California. He says this is the worst he's seen in his 23 years of service. He and his crews have sometimes been on duty for 64 hours at a stretch with 20-minute cat naps. Silvera is one of more than 17,000 firefighters in California. He says they lack resources and current conditions with the drought and the wind are making it difficult for them to contain the fires and prevent new ones from erupting. Agencies have constantly been seeking firefighters, aircraft, engines, and support personnel. So far, fire crews have come to help from at least 9 states and other countries, including Canada and Israel. So far, the wildfires in California have burned a total of 3.4 million acres. Breweries in LA County are finally getting some relief in the tune of millions of dollars. The LA County Board of Supervisors unanimously voted to grant $10 million in grants to breweries, wineries, card rooms, and family entertainment centers that have been closed or restricted by the county's health officer orders. The grant is made possible by the Federal Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security, or CARES Act. It's unclear at this time how much of the $10 million will be available to breweries. Torrance is home to about a dozen independent craft breweries. Countywide, there's close to 100. Many of them have been struggling to stay open during this pandemic. LA County Supervisor Janice Hahn says she's heard from many of the local breweries and wanted to get them the lifeline they need to make it through this crisis. Lori Porter, the co-founder of Torrance-based brewery Smog City, says while the $10 million grant funding is a huge win, they still need to get their tap rooms opened soon. She hopes to get the same treatments that restaurants are getting and says multiple breweries in the county have proven that they can adhere to the same rules of operations, including outdoor seating, social distancing, and cleaning protocols. LA County is the only county in the state that has not allowed breweries to reopen. To learn more about how to apply for the grant, you could contact the Office of Supervisor Hahn or the LA County Development Authority. Now is the time to start preparing for COVID-19 vaccine distribution. That's the message the LA County Board of Supervisors sent out this week by approving a motion that instructs the county's Department of Public Health to work with various departments, cities, and community agencies to develop a vaccination plan. This is a crucial move, according to Supervisor Janice Hahn, who says we can't waste any time. She adds that we are the largest county in the nation and need to fairly and equitably get a vaccine to more than 10 million people when the time comes. 37 vaccines are currently undergoing clinical trials, and 3 of them are in the 3rd phase of trials. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention provided guidance for preparation and distribution of the vaccine. It includes data reporting and identifying high-risk priority groups, such as healthcare professionals and those living in long-term care facilities. Setting up mass vaccination clinics for the general population is also listed as a guideline as more doses become available. The LA County Board of Supervisors is also making further investments to prevent violence in its communities and support those who are impacted by trauma. 2 motions will be decided on later this month that support the work of the Office of Violence Prevention and strengthens a family assistance program that helps families who have lost loved ones due to deputy-involved shootings. Supervisor Mark Ridley Thomas said, quote, "Violence begets violence. If we want to break the cycle, we must provide a compassionate response to families impacted by violence and equip our communities with the tools needed to recognize and de-escalate violence before it occurs," end quote. He continues that LA residents deserve a coordinated and community-led response to incidences of violence that take place too often. The first motion addresses a growing public demand for equitable response to violence prevention and interventions. The board is working toward implementing a coordinated and community-led response to incidences of violence or crises such as homicides, shootings, and domestic and sexual assaults. The second motion is also in response to community concerns. It ensures the long-term viability of the Family Assistance Program that helps families who have lost loved ones at the hands of the Sheriff's Department. The program aims to hire advocates who can be present during next of kin notifications to provide crisis intervention and grief counseling, as well as to serve as liaisons between the Sheriff's Department and other county departments as needed. Fitness centers in California filed a lawsuit against the state and demands they be allowed to reopen. The California Fitness Alliance, which represents almost 300 businesses, filed the suit at the Los Angeles County Superior Court on Monday. The group alleges that Governor Gavin Newsom's actions to curb the spread of the coronavirus unfairly target the fitness industry. The lawsuit accuses California and LA County officials of requiring gyms to close without providing evidence that they're contributing to the virus outbreaks. The suit also mentions that the long closure deprives millions of people from exercising as temperatures soar and the smoky air from the wildfires covers much of the state. Francesca Schuler, a founding partner of the California Fitness Alliance, says they're not looking for a fight and are committed to being as safe as possible. This lawsuit is one of many that have been filed by those who have been negatively impacted by the closures due to COVID-19. Under current state rules, fitness centers can reopen indoors at 10% capacity when its county infections drop from widespread to substantial. For counties that are seeing minimal infections, gyms are allowed to reopen indoors at 50% capacity. Schuler says the closures have devastated the fitness industry, with up to 40% of businesses closing for good. Here in Torrance, 6 fitness businesses are currently operating at 3 parks across the city: El Prado, Wilson, and Lago Seco. There's some good news for those planning to travel from the South Bay. Travelers from California no longer have to be quarantined for 14 days when heading to New York, New Jersey, or Connecticut. California has been on the quarantine list since June 30th, but that requirement was finally lifted this week. We are one of 6 states to be removed from the quarantine order after seeing a steady decrease in infection rates. The average number of California's daily COVID-19 cases fell below 10 per 100,000 residents over the past week, which allowed the state to get off the list. Hawaii, Maryland, Minnesota, Nevada, and Ohio also joined California in getting out of the quarantine order for the East Coast states. New York, which was once the hot spot for the coronavirus spread, now has between 3 and 4 daily positive cases per 1,000 residents, making it the 4th lowest rate in the country, according to the COVID Tracking Project. The quarantine list will likely change as the states continue to track the number of COVID-19 cases. Puerto Rico was re-added after it was removed last week. Businesses in San Bernardino can get up to a $1,200 grant if they move their operations outside. The county is offering this incentive in an effort to support local small businesses and nonprofits. Churches, fitness centers, hair salons, and nail salons, restaurants, and shopping malls are all eligible for this grant. Applications are currently being accepted until October 31st, and those interested could apply online at sbcovid19.com. Torrance has also been assisting many small businesses that are making unprecedented transitions during this pandemic. The city's Economic Development Office is covering the $266 permit fee for each outdoor operations permit. It's also reimbursing up to $5,000 for outdoor setup while funds are available. So far, the city of Torrance has issued 94 outdoor use permits and reimbursed a total of around $42,000 worth of permit fees. The Torrance City Council met last night to discuss city business, but before getting started, they took a moment of silence in memory of 9-year-old Drake Walker, son of Police Sergeant James Walker, who passed away after a brave fight against brain cancer.
In January 2019, Drake was a recipient of the Chiefs Award for his kindness, courage, and compassion. Drake was an inspiration to his family, every member of the Torrance Police Department, and our entire community.
In other matters, the council unanimously voted to extend the local emergency related to COVID-19. The matter of extending the local emergency related to civil unrest led to a longer discussion and resulted in a decision to not extend it. The council tabled the proposal from the LA County Registrar Recorder for permanent unstaffed vote-by-mail drop boxes at 5 locations in the city of Torrance for the presidential primary election on November 3rd. However, the city leaders did approve to have 1 vote-by-mail drop box at the city clerk's office. Several more agenda items were discussed. You can catch replays of the entire meeting tonight and tomorrow at 10 p.m. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. It can be seen here on City Cable, streaming online, and on demand on YouTube. Arts and crafts chain store Hobby Lobby is raising the minimum wage for its full-time workers to $17 an hour. The company issued a statement this week that says they're working hard to be a retail leader when it comes to taking care of their people. Founder and CEO David Green says they close their stores on Sundays and at 8 p.m. the rest of the week to provide the best pay and benefits in the retail industry. He says, quote, "Because this year has presented so many challenges to our employees, We are very happy that we are able to provide pay increases to thousands of our associates before the Christmas season, end quote. In 2009, Hobby Lobby became known for being one of the first retailers to establish a nationwide minimum hourly wage that was well above the federal minimum hourly wage and has since raised its minimum wage 10 times over the past 11 years. A new Hobby Lobby location is coming soon to Torrance. It will replace the former Toys R Us spot on Hawthorne Boulevard next to Walmart. As for employees looking forward to the pay increase, the new wage is expected to take effect starting October 1st. Amazon hosted a virtual career day with more than 100,000 available jobs. The e-commerce giant says 53% of job seekers are looking for a new job as a result of COVID-19. The career day included 3 hours of fireside chats, panels, and discussions with career experts and Amazon executives. The virtual event was open to anyone nationwide, and available jobs range from corporate and tech positions to hourly roles within the warehouse. Amazon officials say they continue to hire people from all backgrounds and skill levels. 17,000 people attended its career day last year, which was held at 6 cities across the U.S. September is National Preparedness Month. That means it's a time to think about family and community disaster planning. You can never be too prepared for a disaster, as you can see right now with wildfires blazing across our state. This year's theme is Disasters Don't Wait, Make Your Plan Today. There is a website designated to providing you with information you would need to be prepared should a disaster strike. It helps you make a plan, get involved, and also gives you tools if you own a business. For more information on National Preparedness Month, you can check out ready.gov/September. Well, before we go, at the end of each program, we like to share stories from our community, feel-good pictures, images, and videos that remind us of how resilient our community is and how Torrance truly cares. Torrance Mayor Patrick Fury shared these pictures over the weekend. He wrote, "Lights of Hope Across America, Torrance." I was very happy to support Relay for Life Torrance and John Schmidt, Michelle Medina Rand, and the entire community in the effort to raise awareness and money to fight cancer. His pictures show a beautiful light-up display just outside of City Hall with a sign that says, "These are the faces and names of our loved ones. So proud of our courageous survivors. So blessed by the memories of those no longer with us." It was part of a national campaign organized by the American Cancer Society Cancer Action Network to light up hope for those whose lives have been touched by cancer. Thank you, Mayor Fury, for sharing your pictures. We love hearing positive stories like this. If you have a great one to share, be sure to email us. We'd love to hear from you. Well, that's our update for COVID-19 today. Be sure to join us again tomorrow as Ben McCain brings you the latest updates. Be safe, stay healthy, and thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.